All this morning, many of us were transfixed onto our television sets, trying to make sense of what happened in the outskirts of Hyderabad, where four men were gunned down by the Cyberabad police in an encounter following the outcry of the Disha murder case. I tweeted the possibility of this happening a few days ago because the police were under tremendous pressure, and Mr. Sajjanar, who is known to be a tough cop, would definitely do something like this. But there are many other facts that made this possible, this particular encounter. What were those? One, there was no hardcore evidence to speak of. That's the biggest problem, because the accused, after killing her, actually burnt her body. This is done precisely to negate any scientific evidence that the police could, or the forensic evidence the police could pick up from that. And they were also helped by the fact that they were not seen in crucial parts of the CCTV cameras. There were few evidences the police could pick up. One of that was that two of the young men drove the bike of Disha around and even picked up petrol from one of the bunks that was obviously used to burn her body. Beyond that, it was a tough case for the police to prove, and they would have to depend on the confession of one of the four accused to turn an approver, and that would have led to a bigger outcry. So what would the police do? Would they go to the courts, and despite the so-called fast-track courts, the accused could then appeal to the next higher court, where it would drag on for months and months, and then to the next court. So from a trial to a sessions to a district to a state high court, and then finally the Supreme Court. And if there's a death sentence, the president gets involved. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not the question. Our judicial system is broken. It is pathetic. There are cases which go on for 2 to 3 decades without seeing an end, because there is a vested interest at heart. The judges are not really interested in finishing the cases because the lawyers ask for too many adjournments, and in many cases, the litigants themselves give up after some time. We need a faster, quicker turnaround of cases. How would that happen? There are 3 or 4 ways to do it. One is to appoint more judges, but that is easier said than done. Just by appointing judges, the number of cases won't come down. Our judicial system takes summer holidays, winter holidays, Dashara holidays, Diwali holidays, plus many other holidays. Where in the world would you hear a judicial system that takes holidays despite millions of cases being pending? This is the problem. The summer holidays were taken when the days of the British, for the British judges to go back to London or UK and enjoy the cooler climes compared to the hot, heat, humid India. But world has changed. The British have left 70 years ago, but we are still continuing with many of their traditions. The time has now come for the Indian lawmakers, the parliamentarians, to pass a law denying the judges these so-called long holidays. Remember, the judges work from 10:30 to 2:30, the 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Post which they go back to the chambers, have lunch, and then write the judgments, hopefully, and by 4 they are out of the courts. Where else would you find a job like this, where you work from 10:30 to 4? No? A factory worker in India works more harder. But that's not all. One doesn't blame the judges for it, because some of them go back home and write judgments also. But definitely we need to have a complete overhaul. The number of appeals that one can make should be reduced to just 3. Like in the US, there's a limit to number of appeals there. And number of adjournments need to be drastically cut down. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the only way we can stop what is happening right now. Because as I say, justice delayed is justice denied. And in case of Nirbhaya, we saw that, where one of them could even walk away because he was a juvenile, despite committing the most atrocious crime. The same would have happened for Disha also. And then that case would also have dragged on. Today, the Cyberabad police has enabled a closure for the case. Whether it was done right or wrong, we don't know. We will wait for the magisterial inquiry and the postmortem. But one thing is for sure, our criminal justice system is broken beyond a point. And time has now come to correct that. Or else we will have more Dishas and more encounters. Namaskar.